There's Leroy Blue. He's saying howdy. Say howdy. Say howdy. There's the puppy nose. Everybody loves a puppy. Okay, you want to steal the camera? Otherwise, I'll turn it around. Okay. This is the look of a very frazzled quilter. Let me just tell you all what has been going on. So I'm having to get some roof work done here at the shop. I run upstairs to get my hair fixed. I have a conversation with my dad. My morning's totally jacked up. All of my time increments, that I have planned out for the day has totally been flushed down the toilet. And then I walk up on the roof, and the boards to the roofing deck do not look as good as they should. And so then I'm trying to find my husband, who, when I handed him Leroy, thought he needed to go outside. So he takes Leroy outside. I'm chasing him around the building. Jennifer's chasing him around the building. And none of us can find John. Meanwhile, one of my special customers, who I love all of you very much, comes in to pick up their live order, and it's under their maiden name versus their married name, and now we can't find their order. And then we have some other guests come in, and then I'm trying to talk to John about the roof, and then Jennifer has to tinkle, and then I couldn't find my ruler. I need a drink. Oh, and I broke a nail, and I just got my nails done this morning. So that's my morning. So we're ready to learn about cutting on a one block wonder. I don't know if I should be using a rotary cutter at this point. So last week you had your homework, right? Y'all did your homework. Tell me we have people on, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I cannot see the comments because it's Jennifer's on my phone. So I cannot see the comments, but Jennifer can. So ask questions and she'll tell me what the questions are. Okay, so last week your homework was to pin. So this is mine, and I've pinned it. Now I did spray it with my Tarot Magic so it's nice and stiff, and pressed it good. And so now I'm ready to start cutting my pieces. Now this bottom piece is bigger than the rest. That's okay because we're going to trim all this up. Okay, so here we go. So here's what I've got it all laid out. It's all pinned. Life is good. So what I'm going to do is...
Hope your day improves. By Sue.
By Sue. Honey, it's going to improve because y'all are with me, and I'm just a hot mess today. I'm telling you what. And, it's one of those, I took a little sleeping pill last night, and then the Tylenol PM didn't get ward off. I'm telling you, the Tylenol PM is gone, and Sassy Pansies is here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut my salvage off on this first end. So I've got this laid out long ways. So this is with the fabric and versus with the fabric going this way and on the fold. I don't want to be on a fold. I want this all to lay flat because I'm already cutting through 6 layers. I don't need to cut through 12. All right, so I've got this laid long ways. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut the salvage off and just kind of make a nice straight edge. Now, it's really important that you really do your good cutting skills and make sure you've got straight edges that you're doing. All right.
I don't know.
So I'm lining up my ruler. This is on my mat, lining up my ruler. So we're all good. And we're just going to scooch in to make sure we get that salvage completely. You also want to be sure you're not cutting through any pins. That is essential. All right.
Lori wants to know, I didn't know about this shop till after last week. What are we making?
We are doing a one block wonder. So this is, and so let me talk about one block wonders. Lori, that brings me to a great point. Other than the fact that you've heard all about my morning, now I need to tell you what we're doing. So a one block wonder has many different names. A one block wonder is designed specifically for 6 layers of fabric. There is something also called a stack and whack that is done with a 45-degree angle and 8 pieces of fabric. There is something called a 4-patch posy, which is done with squares, and it's done with 4 layers of fabric. And what you're doing is we are taking this really beautiful piece of fabric, and you can use any fabric in your stash that's got a lot of pattern to it. Really, it's also good to use the ugliest fabric you've ever seen because it'll look totally different. And what we're going to do is we've layered this up 6 layers deep, and we're going to cut these and cut triangles and cut triangles out of it to make hexagons and turn it into a kaleidoscope quilt. So that is what we're working on. So Lori, welcome to the team here. Welcome to the family. All right, so I've made my first cut at my salvage. Now what I'm going to do is, you'll notice I have some pins in here. All right, which is fine. Just a couple in there to hold that in place. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm still straight, and I'm going to come over 3 3/4 of an inch. What's so funny? You can't laugh at the jokes and not tell me.
Vanessa says, we need a support group for this. Cutting and pinning was stressful yesterday. Yes, it is. Sorry.
Yes. Okay, so we're doing 3 3/4 inches because our hexagons are going to be 6 inches. So, you know, it depends on, you know, if you want to see, I've got a little bit of black here. If you want to leave that in there or not, it's entirely up to you. All right, so now we're going to cut 3 3/4 inches. Now, Vanessa, you should have only pinned. Okay. And you want to be mindful not to try to run your rotary blade through any pins, and you can ask me how I know that. Okay? The other thing is you need to be really careful that you have a new blade. All right. So there's my first strip. Now I'm going to cut just 2 strips of this, and then we're going to switch to our 60 degree. All right, and do some other evening up here. So again, 3/4, 3 3/4, 3 3/4, so 3.75 inches. That's what we're cutting. Okay. Yes.
Okay, Vanessa says, well, the 6 pieces to start. So she cut the 6 pieces to start.
Okay.
It took me a minute. Sorry, Vanessa.
All right. So I'm going to take this, and this over here is, oh, I didn't get, I have an attachment. So I gingerly pull it apart, so if I have an attachment, because when you're cutting these long strips, it's hard to get all your weight up there. All right, so I'm going to set this section aside, and that's going to be my homework, is to finish cutting that up. And as long as I have all those pins in, I can fold it like that, and all is good. Now, what I'm going to do is come over here. Now I've got a smaller swath here, right? A smaller piece. Now I didn't hit any pins on this one, so we're just going to go through and pin it in a couple of places just so it doesn't move. All right? And then we're going to do some cutting. This is also a point that you can test your placements. So when you have these strips, and just check your placement just to be sure you're good. Now, I'm done with my Big Easy here. I love that Big Easy ruler. When I do smaller cuts, it's a little too big, so I go back to my little 6.5 by 12.5 creative grids. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to even up the raw edge over
Vanessa
here.
says, do we disregard the first cut? This one.
No, you don't. You want to save them. You want to save them. We're going to just come back to that first one. This was closer to my body, so that's where we started. Closer is easiest, right? So now I've cut my edge off. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to demonstrate with a Star 60 ruler from Studio 180 Design. I will also show you on this part how to use your regular Creative Grids ruler. Also, if you have a 60 degree diamond ruler. So we have a couple other, I am like the queen of rulers and the queen of gadgets. So we also have, that's Jennifer Green. If you have a 60 degree ruler that looks like this, you can use it. Or you can use one that looks like this. All right. This is the 60 degree mini from Krista Moser. So this one here actually will be a little trickier because it doesn't have all the markings on it. So I would hold off on this one. But this one definitely. So what you're going to do, and I'll show you all 3 rulers on this part. Now, going forward, I will be primarily using the Studio 180 ruler. So what I am doing is right here is this white line that says 3/4 of an inch. And that's going to go on my bottom. And I make sure it comes all the way over. And I get everything. And then it's got this flat edge at the top. So then we're going to go swipe, swipe. All right, so that's my first cut. Now my pin was in there, so that's fine. I don't have to worry about pinning it. It's very important you keep these together. All right, so then also these little pieces here, you do want to save those until you're done. So you just take those and just pin them together and put them in a little baggie, because we may use those before it's all said and done. All right, so now then I've got this part. Now what do? Oh, we take our ruler and we turn it upside down. And then we come up here and we do 3/4 of an inch. 3 3/4. Cut. All right, and then I would just keep going all the way down the line. Now this one didn't have a pin in it, so I'm going to grab me a pin. And again, don't overthink the pins, just pin it. All right, so there we go. You want it to be to where it's not going to run away. Okay, now if I was going to, and I would keep doing this all the way down, but I'm going to show you a different ruler. So if this was my regular ruler, actually let me come over and start with this one, just because it would be easier. So I'm pulling my second strip just so I can show to use a regular ruler. So again, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to clean up my straight edge. I don't need that. A little bit, it can go in the bye-bye pan or the rainy day pan, whatever you use. And on here, what I am looking for is my 60-degree angle, or my 60 or 30-degree angle, which is right here, right there. And then what I'm going to do is I lay that line on the bottom of my fabric, just like so. Line that up perfectly. Then I take it and I cut. Again, these little half triangles, hold on to those suckers. We may use them before we're done. Okay. And then what I am going to do is come over, and this always makes me think. So I've done my 30 here. I got to come over and do 6. Okay, wait. Don't you love to see me think? Because then we got to go the other direction. My little ruler only goes one direction with its angle. All right. Next one. This is why I have multiple rulers, because, you know, if one doesn't do it, the other one will. So what this one, now I've got to go this direction. And what I have to do is to make sure it's right at the 3 3/4. Now this is why you buy a triangle ruler, because this is actually a lot harder to do. Okay? So 3 3/4. Line that up. Just like so. And then cut. All right, now there's that one, nice and pretty. All right, now I'm going to show you this Star 60 ruler. Now when we start doing the advanced, the more challenging things like with stars and cubes, I will only be using the Star 60 ruler. So if you want to go ahead and invest in that, shoot us a message on here and we'll drop it into your comment sold card. I want to say it's a $38.50 ruler, and it's well worth its weight in gold, because it cuts multiple different sizes and it's just really easy to use. And this is my second one. It's so easy to use, I have 2 of them. Okay. So with the Star 60 ruler, it's the same thing. I'm just going to line up 3 3/4 on the bottom. And I have my blunt edge at the top, right up there, and then I just cut. So this one already had a pin in it. And then I just rotate the tip, and I go up 3 3/4. Make sure I'm staying square and straight. And then I just keep going. Now, what'll be fun is, so your homework this week is you're going to get all of your pieces cut. Cut all of your fabric into strips and get it all cut. All right? But let me just kind of show you already what we have in store for us from a design element. Because next week we start talking about design. So there's lots of things we can start doing to play. And it's going to be really hard not to start playing. But lots of play can happen here. So first look at this one. Is that not cool? Look at that one. That would be my first hexagon. So it's one way to do it. Or you can do it this way. You know, there's 3 different ways you can do these hexagons because there's 3 different sides.
They can go back and rewatch the video, right?
Yes, these videos always stay up, and once you start working on it, you can have me talking in your ear. So that's another way. So then look at this one. This one's fun. That's why we don't have a... I better stop there. Okay, so look at this one. And what's great is the more you get into your pattern, the more design options you're going to have. But you definitely want to keep these all together. Is that not fun? Look at that one. So yeah, so you definitely can always go back and rewatch. And basically your homework is going to be this week to cut all those strips and to cut all of those pieces. And then what we're going to start doing is talking about design. Okay, so that's the next one. So don't panic, don't fret. Like I said, keep watching the videos. All you're doing this week is literally just cutting the pieces and cutting these angles. And again, if you need a 60-degree ruler, I'm recommending the Star 60 from Studio 180 Design. Super easy to use. That one's kind of funky, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know that I like that one so much that way. But what's great is you can start, if you don't like it one way, turn it around. And ooh, now look at that.
I never thought of that with mine.
Look at that. Is that not cool?
I like that one.
That is really cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, so that's your homework for this week. So, and then, you know, as you're cutting these out, you're going to want to play. So give yourself some time to play as well. All right, so I'm from Cottage Grove Quilt Company. I'm Christy. I'm the crazy lady who pays the bills around here, chases her husband around, fights for the roof, fetches a dog, you know, all of those things included, while taking care of all of my customers who we love. So you guys have a great day. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can always contact us at service@cottagegrovequilt.com, and we can help answer any of your questions. All right, next week at 12 noon, and then tonight at 9 p.m. for our sales. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. for sales, and we'll see about breakfast in the morning. Depends if I'm still vertical. And then Thursday night, our big show. So lots of fun. Bye!